Welcome, everybody. This is Gregg Rock. And in our latest Need to Know video series, we're lucky enough to have George Barlow with us, the CEO of Stratesia. George is a familiar face to many of the folks in BPM Institute. Over the years, George has written many articles for us. He's also delivered some courses and also helped us with our certification committee. So George is a certified BPM professional. But in the last several years, he's taken on a lot of new exciting areas. Over the years, you might have known George from his time at Appian, where he was a senior VP for technology and operations. He also spent a good amount of time as vice president of BPM and cloud solutions for AgilePoint. And most recently served as the chief sales officer at Trizotech before starting Stratesia. And so, George, welcome back. It's always a pleasure to have a chance to chat with you and to work together again. Especially excited to let folks know that you're going to be presenting two of our newest courses that are part of the Digital Transformation Specialist Series in April, so not too far away. And so appreciate you coming down today. Always great to see you.
Thanks, Greg. Greetings from the left coast. Spring is here.
Almost. Well, no, in Boston, not yet, but we're getting there. So, one of the things, George, that we've seen over the years is, BPM adoption. A lot of folks, got on board in early days. There's still lots of organizations that are just getting their arms around BPM. But there's a lot of things that I think BPM serves as a stepping stone to other technologies and some exciting things that are coming down the pike. And so, the two courses that you're going to be delivering in April, the low-code, no-code course and our process automation course, I think are two exciting areas. And one of the things we're trying to help our members and process professionals understand is make the connection to these new technologies and enabling things that are coming down the pipe. So let's jump right in. And maybe I could ask you, from your perspective, what do you think BPM practitioners need to know about low-code, no-code?
Well, great. First of all, the landscape of low-code, no-code is huge, confusing. It's changing all the time. Companies are consolidating. Basically, members need to know how to make sense of all this and how to categorize the myriad of companies and tools that are out there. Just a general idea, I think, is far bigger than most people believe. Model-driven development and automation has been around for a couple of decades now with some of the companies you mentioned and others. So that's pretty common. We've got Appian and Pega and Trizotech and Signavio and companies like that, where we've had modeling for a long time and automation more recently. But those are low-code solutions. And interestingly enough, they've started calling themselves low-code solutions after years of trying not to do that. And then we have RPA companies like UiPath, who are getting into task automation in addition to RPA document automation. And process mining companies like Celonis are getting into process and task automation, not just the discovery of processes like they started their company. Now, interestingly enough, IT's second largest area after data science is the programmers' skill gap. There just aren't enough to go around. And so when you look at the fact that in the United States, the average programmer's salary is over $100K a year, and even though these low-code solutions certainly don't get rid of programmers by any stretch, right, they do help make costs less significant than hiring all new programmers and new developers. Really, it turns out that 82% of the firms surveyed suggest that custom application development outside IT is important. So companies do recognize this. We're seeing the advent of the citizen developer, if you will, and these low-code, no-code tools are getting better literally by the week. So it's a pretty exciting time, and members should at least get a chance to see what they are and think about them.
No, I think that's a great point, and especially the challenge with finding developers these days. I talk to our members on a regular basis, and it is a real pain point for them. You and I had a chat about some of the big challenges for enterprises to adopt low-code, no-code. Could you talk a little bit about that and what you might be seeing out there? whether
Yeah,
that's starting
sure.
to ease up a bit.
Well, the first question is often about low code, no code, and pro code, as we call the programming staffs of today. One of the fundamental questions everybody needs to answer is, should enterprises with IT staffs get behind low code, no code, or not? And if so, to what degree? The only way to do that is to really understand better about what this low code, no code world looks like. And in fact, whether IT can profit from it as well as the business sectors themselves. Second of all, we talked about it sort of from a different dimension a minute ago, but the demand for IT applications has absolutely outstripped the available programming capabilities everywhere. So divisions and departments and work teams have really been building their own apps for probably a decade or more when you start to look at it. I mean, most people don't think about these 10,000 spreadsheets the organization has, but those are really apps for those users out there. And that's what they've been doing. And they've bought their own solutions. Some of the early Appian solutions, for example, were acquired by groups within large organizations who couldn't get an FIT capability. Then Gartner predicts by 2024 that 65% of the application projects are going to rely on low-code development. But there's plenty of reasons to be wary of the citizen developer. And one of the things that we do is examine those reasons in the course.
Right. Well, I'm excited to see the course. If folks are looking to do a deep dive into that, it'll be happening the week of April 25th. And if you're just trying to make sense of what's happening in this space, understand what the players are, and get some information on organizations that are doing it successfully, I hope folks can join us online in April. But before we leave that, George, any examples you could share or organizations that are doing this successfully so far?
Well, lots of them. There's over 300 of these products currently in the marketplace, and tens, if not hundreds of thousands of organizations currently using low code and no code to some degree. So there's many hundreds of user success stories, and you can find them at the click of a button on the internet. So every developer tool, their website will have 5 wonderful user customer stories. So if you're interested in doing that, either ours a couple clicks away in a browser. But again, interestingly enough, according to Gartner, by 2024, 75% of organizations are going to be using at least 4 different low-code development tools for building both IT development and citizen development initiatives. So pretty heavy.
Right. Well, I appreciate you filling our folks in. You know, as far as we can tell, this is coming, folks. And so if this is a new space and you're just starting to learn about it, this would be a great way to leverage your BPM knowledge for what's coming down the pipe. Thank you so much, George.
Thank you, Greg. See you soon.